Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. My name is miahtheking, and always remember, if it's brown, flush it down. If it's yellow, let it mellow. Now then, today we're taking a look at a game that just released earlier this afternoon on Steam called Sons of the Forest, the sequel to the highly popular, highly successful The Forest. Developed by Night Games Ltd. And published by New Night. This game was released in early access and is selling for $30 American. By the way, if I sound a little bit off, it's because I am. I don't know if I'm sick or if it's just a serious case of allergies, but I am not doing too well right now, so apologize. Now, if any of you out there, other than me and my wife, are big Steam users, you must know that Steam had some serious server issues this afternoon, causing the release of this game and Company of Heroes 3 to have some real problems. What a headache that was. But I persevered and managed to get this game for both me and my wife, and we decided to take a look at it together. We love survival games and play them together as much as we can, so we weren't going to miss this one. Now, going forward, remember this is an early access game, and while I understand that, I believe these games are only allowed a certain amount of leeway before it becomes ridiculous. I will judge it fairly based on my opinion, and yes, I'm keeping the fact that it's an early access in my mind the whole time. Now, in this game, well, you play as some soldier guy who gets shot down over this island. Now, just survive, I guess. I mean, in the first Forest, you were on a plane, and you crash, and then some guy kidnaps your son, so you gotta go save him. In this game, well, you're in a helicopter, and it crashes, and you gotta go save your military buddies, I think. There was almost no dialogue or story whatsoever at this point, so keep that in mind going forward. And now you gotta survive while fighting off natives and locating your battle buddies, I think. So, as always, I'll go into the good and the bad before my final thoughts. Sound good? Great. Oh, and by the way, I do have some key negatives you might want to listen out for, so make sure you stay tuned and hear them out before you buy, okay? It might just be the deciding factor for you. Now, for the first positive, I really liked the look and feel and the overall just graphical, well, feel of the game. Is it the best? Nah. But is it still really good? Yeah. I mean, the attention to detail here is crazy. The lighting is great, the water effects are good, and the contrast and the particulars of the graphics are just really well done. So, when it comes to the look of the game, I got no complaints. Hell, it's almost so far for me to say that the graphics are pretty perfect for this game. I really like them. Next up is the sound. It's almost exactly like the last game, which I don't have a problem with. I mean, the native shrieks into the forest and their echo is still creepy as always and sounds perfect, as do the other sound effects like chopping down trees, fighting, crafting, and so on. Plus that music, I mean, man, it's pretty awesome to listen to. I mean, you just feel like something epic is about to go down when you hear this music. Although, the sound effects aren't always perfect. I mean, what is the deal with this river? I mean, that just sounds awful. But otherwise, it was sounding pretty good the rest of the time. The next thing I really want to talk about is the gameplay. Okay, so originally I thought that the gameplay of the first game was pretty intuitive for its time. But just like we'd hoped, they improved on it. Right now, you'll be watching a scene of me going through crafting and using my stuff in my inventory. Look at this. The depth and detail on what you're doing is just so freaking cool. You open the wrapper, you eat the candy bar, you pop open the energy drink, and then you drink it. Same with the meds. You watch as your guy breaks sticks so he can combine them together into an awesome item. You have to manually put things on the ground and combine them together to get certain things built, like a simple tent. There's not even a hotbar for quick switching items. Instead, you just pull out your backpack to look at that and your pre-prepared items, and then click on which one you need to use at the time. It's so much more realistic, intuitive, and engaging than the last game, and it's so awesome. I wanted to make sure you guys both saw and heard what I was talking about. And that's not all. I mean, they go so far that if you kill a native, their friend or lover will come over and cry over their dead body. I mean, it actually makes you feel guilty for what you did, even though you were just defending yourself, which was a really nice touch, psychologically messing with you, you know, and it's a nice improvement from their last game. The natives will steal your logs, so be careful. I don't know why they're stealing your logs, I don't know what for, but there they are, they're doing it. And it looks like there might be some native civil war, as you'll see different types of natives doing different types of things, or running from each other, or tied up by other natives. So the cannibals have been improved on, and it looks like the devs are trying to do some more interesting things with them, which I greatly approve of and hope that they keep expanding on this. The idea of natives fighting each other while you're also locked in the mix and you're like not involved, but you're still getting involved, like I like that kind of idea. I think that's a good idea. And one last thing that I really wanted to mention, you get a companion in this game. They will fetch things for you and do little tasks for you. I don't know if you get more than one or not. I only got one at the time of recording, but it's possible that there could be other companions you can get and gather together. So I don't really know how this is going to work, but I love the idea of it. I mean, imagine saving half of your squad of soldiers, and together this small group of soldiers take on the natives. I love this aspect of this game. I love the idea of using these NPCs to help you with your busy work. I love the idea that you might be able to equip them with weapons and then have them come with you and fight natives. Like, this is really cool. Though I couldn't give my companion a weapon to fight me, so maybe it's a special type of weapon that they need. I couldn't give them a spear I made or the bow I made, so I don't know. That sucks. I'd really like to have someone watching my back whenever my wife has to log off. But still, it's really cool, and I think it's a really great idea, and I can't wait to see this get expanded on more as they update the game further. Finally, the last positive thing that I got to say is the price. For such a highly anticipated game with a huge following from this indie company, and then to release the game for only $30 shows me something awesome. It shows integrity and a lack of greed. These developers realize that you're beta testing their game, they realize it's not complete, they realize that it's not in perfect form, and they're going to give it to you at a reasonable price. I was expecting them to charge $40 for this game, and some could argue that $30 is $10 too expensive, especially when The Forest, the original, is only selling for $20. But ramping up everything from their last game, like every little detail, and ramping it up to the next level in this whole new package, makes it worth its asking price. A perfectly priced game in early access, and those are hard to find. Now then, that's all the good I could think of. Now we gotta go into the bad, and keep in mind that I'm just being honest and just expressing my opinion, alright? Also, if you're finding this video fun or informative, I would greatly appreciate some support for my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and sharing my video all really help me a heck of a lot more than you might think, and I'd greatly appreciate it. Okay. Now the negatives. So, the first most glaring one is the stability. I know it's in early access, so, this kind of thing is to be expected. A few glitches I can ignore and walk away from. Things like clipping, the stuttering, the frame rate dropping, the freezing. I can ignore all these because it's early access, it's not stable. But when my game gets stuck and then crashes with no autosaves, thus forcing my last hour of hard work to be wasted, I do get a little bit peeved. I mean, come on, if it's a little bug, I understand. A game crashing, breaking bug is something that shouldn't be there and should be fixed immediately. This is more than just a little bit awful. I was unable to access anything or to do anything other than go to the menu. When I quit and came back in, I had lost all my progress. Hey, game devs, just add in quick save feature while it's in early access so we don't get punished for playing your game. I mean, when it's released and the game-breaking bugs are gone, then you can remove the autosave. But for now, while we're testing it, could you please give us that autosave? Please? So, it's a buggy, glitchy mess right now. And depending on your situation, you may not even be able to play it very well at all. So, keep that in mind while you're looking to buy. The next negative is the lack of any kind of help or tutorial. Now, I know it has a guidebook, and that it should teach you all you need to know. But I don't know if there's a hotbar or not. I know I mentioned it earlier, but I don't even know if it exists because the game didn't tell me or help me. I don't know how to quick switch items. I don't know how to use my lighter. Barely. I can sometimes make it work and other times it doesn't work at all. I don't understand. I don't know what those guidebooks are even saying half the time because they're too vague and generic with just simple images. It makes learning how to play the game a big headache. And don't get me wrong, I'm not asking for a lot of help here as I get what they're going for. But just a little bit more help. I mean, just a tiny bit more information would be greatly appreciated to learning how to play your game. Even survival guides have more information than these little books. I don't know of a single guidebook that has no words in it, so why can't we have that here? I mean, even just a basic, brief guide sentence or something would be better than this. By the way, if you heard a commotion in the background, that was my kids. I apologize. And honestly, those are the only negatives I could think about. So overall, what we have here is a very promising sequel to The Forest. Released in early access, just like that game, showing us a lot of what there is to offer in the first 2 hours, and really just sucking you in and making you want to play more. So you're not searching for your son this time around, but you've still got something important you got to do. You got to save your buddies. With the intuitive gameplay components they added, the psychological components with the emotional natives, sorry about that, the intense increase in overall gameplay experience, and I gotta say, this game is definitely one you want to check out. If you're a fan of survival games, you're going to love this. If you're not a fan of horror games, like me, then you're probably going to want to play with a friend or two because it does get a bit scary at times. It is survival horror after all. But overall, this is a great little game, a fantastic start to a sequel to a great little game, and something I'm super happy about. No disappointments at all for me. Super promising. I can't wait to see what they do next. So that's all I got. Go check it out. I highly recommend it. Okay, everybody? Alright, that's all the time I got for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know in the comments down below. I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure, and until then, I bid you all farewell.